Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to get some weed. Today I want to get a set of wheels for the 370Z because the ones that came on the car, they are pretty clapped. So these things, I looked them up and surprisingly enough, they are like 4,800 bucks new. They're like a Chinese company. They're called 7Ks, but a set of wheels for this car, or these wheels for this car, I guess the guy probably spent $4,800 on them. These need new barrels on the inside and the outside. They are a 3-piece wheel, but I want to get some actual legit wheels. So there's a set of weds on Facebook Marketplace, and we're going to go test fit them. Hopefully they fit the car. The guy had them made for like a Toyota Crown. I don't think they're as wide as the 370Zs. They're 11 in the back and 10 in the front. So hopefully they just fit right on the car without any crazy modifications, because I really don't want to go and roll the rear fenders. I'll get these wheels maybe refinished, or I might just sell them as is, or maybe I'll just keep them as drift spares. I'm not 100% sure. This one in the back, the lip's bent. It's not bad. A wheel company probably could straighten that out, but barrels, they're pretty inexpensive. And man, these things look beautiful. They look good on the car. I can't wait to see them with tires. Let's go get some tires. Man, this thing is so much fun to drive. Just like a brand new car. And fast. And cruise control. Electric steering. Got the first set of tires loaded in the Magnum, and this thing is a screamer. She's getting like 21 miles per gallon at 700 horse. The great thing about having a Hellcat Magnum is you can fit probably could fit 6 wheels and tires in this thing. This thing gets great gas mileage and it's so much fun to drive, but I now have everything loaded in the Ranger, and I'm like Arby's. You got the meats. So all the tires are now mounted, and these filled out the wheels quite a bit. These look great. Can't wait to put them on. So I got the wheels on the car, and the car is now back on the ground, and man, I must say this was definitely the right decision, especially with these meaty tires. So like I said before, we have 305 35s on the rear, which fills out those 11s perfectly, and then we have some 275 35s in the front, which also fills out the wheels, and then the offset is perfect for the car. So I'm going to take out a little bit of camber when I get all the adjustable arms and get this thing aligned. Also coilovers, set it maybe a hair higher in the rear, maybe a hair lower in the front. But besides that, I mean, this setup is just perfect for the car. I really like the wheels. I'm glad I got those. I really was kind of, I don't know, I was contemplating getting some super light track wheels, but since we have the nylon belt Bridgestones in the front and the rear, they're not really that heavy. Old tires had like nails and screws and all kinds of crazy stuff in them. Let's see. Oh, and they're like pretty much bald. I was driving around on them. This one started spinning pretty bad because you weren't even using half the tire. It's surprising how good these, how much power these have from the factory. Just being like around mid 300s. Where is that one? It has all kinds of nails and stuff in it. I don't even know what that is in there. And then there's multiple nails in these rear tires. So the surprising thing is they hold air and they haven't dropped at all. When I test fit the wheels at the guy's house, I just test fit this side and I saw this, and then there's something else somewhere on this tire, and I was just like, how is this thing holding air? But yeah, I'm gonna peel these tires off these wheels. I guess these wheels are decently expensive, so I might just keep the faces, and I think both sides of the barrels are bent. This one, I guess this one doesn't look too bad. I'll just kind of go through them and see what I need to order. And I definitely, all 4 of the front barrels need to be replaced, and then I could probably set it up with a better offset. I don't think I'll put these on this car, but maybe I could re-lip them and then sell them or something. I now have the radiator and the core support out of the car, as well as the front bumper and everything off of the front. To make this a little bit easier, it does help you out tremendously because you have to pull this filler neck right here. I'd recommend also to pull the thermostat housing, this is if you're doing the water pump. So I'm just gonna kind of prepare for it. You have to pull this filler neck to pull the timing cover because as you can see right here, it's bolted to the timing cover, but it has to slide out. So you have to actually pull the intake as well because it's gonna pour a bunch of coolant in the valley. Before you do any of that, there is this drain plug right here on the side of the block. You're gonna wanna drain all the coolant out. I ordered a new water pump and a new thermostat because both of these looked pretty crusty. I don't think the water pump is the issue, but it's worth a try instead of pulling the whole engine out of the car. So I did pull everything apart. It doesn't look like it leaks from the same spot. So this weep hole right here, it's supposed to come out right here, but that doesn't really make any sense because if you look at this passage, it goes towards the back. So maybe it was the weep hole leaking. I'm not 100% sure. How this timing setup is kind of done is kind of weird because the water pump is on the timing system. And you can see how crusty the thermostat housing is. I don't think the thermostat housing was leaking, but it definitely is crusty. So the one thing you have to do is you have to pull the tensioner so you have enough slack in the chain, but you need to put the engine in the correct position. So a lot of people, they were saying that this keyway right here is supposed to line up with this little dash right there, but it's a tooth right after the keyway lines up with that. And then you come up here and this is going to the arrow right there and coming right here. This little notch is going to that little arrow right there. So we're perfectly lined up. And if you just pull the tensioner off of here and leave the chain up here tight, it will keep your upper cams in time. So you don't have to worry about that. And the only thing that you have to worry about is sticking the pump in and then getting all the slack out of the chain right here. One thing I'm gonna do before I put the water pump in is I'm going to pull these galleries. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna do it because people say they blow out, but mine look perfectly fine. The only thing that I probably should replace is these O-rings, but those also look pretty good. Definitely gonna wanna lube the O-ring up on this water pump. I just used some oil. It's not gonna hurt anything if a little bit of oil gets in the cooling system. Now that there's oil on the O-ring, you just wanna slip this in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slip this over so I have it nice and tight. Okay. Make sure that these bolts are tight, but don't break them. And spin the slack out of it. And then you're going to come down here on the sprocket. You want to make sure you have all the slack out of that chain. So now we have all the slack out of the chain. You just have to take your time. Then you're going to come in here. You're going to use the tensioner rail. And you can tell I didn't unbolt it down here. Sounds like it has compression. Okay, we're on our line here. We're good up here. And we're good up there. So everything's in line. You just have to really take your time. We have the tensioner back in, no issues. Timing's good. We have a new water pump. We should be ready to go. We clean the mating surface. There's all of this old RTV that I need to get off here because I need to apply new RTV. I'm going to clean up the thermostat housing at the same time. 370Z is almost 100% of the way back together, minus one O-ring that I'm still waiting on for the coolant fill neck. So it goes all the way to the back of the block, and I don't want to assemble all this stuff right here because it is about this long and you have to stick it all the way through. You can do it with the intake manifold on, but you have to pull it and pull the whole assembly to do the timing cover and get the timing cover off. You have to disassemble a lot of stuff to get the timing cover off, but I have everything sealed up. There's oil in it, and hopefully we're going to have an engine in time. I spun it a few times around and checked timing. Hopefully that's still gonna be good. And hopefully there's no more leaks. Hopefully it was just the water pump. I put a new thermostat on there. It's kind of crazy that the Hellcats, they come with a 200, I think it's like a 200 or 210 degree thermostat from the factory, and the Z's come with a 180 degree. So I put 180 degrees in the Hellcats because when you put a smaller pulley on it, you want it to run cooler because that kind of eliminates the risk of detonation to a certain extent because the engine's running cooler. There's a lot less chance of it knocking instead of it being at 210 when you're turning the boost up. This is non-turbo, so we don't really have to worry about that. But it's just kind of cool that the factory one is 180. I saw a 165, but I really don't see a reason to do that because 180 is perfectly fine. That's usually what I do all my thermostats at is 180. So we have the AC compressor on, all this stuff back together, and I want to start it up, but I really want to wait for that O-ring so I could just put everything together and then I could just kind of go from there. So I'm really excited that I got different wheels on the car as well as some meaty tires so we don't have those little rubber band stretch tires on there anymore. That's really not my style. I've never liked super slammed cars, and I've never liked, well, so when I was in high school, I had like 205s on a 10 and a half inch or 11 inch wide wheel. Wheels were like the 5 Ziggin. I think they weren't the KFs. They were something like that. They're the 5-spoke, really concave wheels. I really liked them. I wish they never stopped making them, but they're like 205 tires on there. They're super stretched. They're probably, at the time, the most stretched tires on a wheel ever. I mean, I don't think anybody was stretching tires back then to that extent. I know there's a few people doing some things, but I was broke and I was in high school and I didn't have a lot of money, so I just did what I did, and I went to Nissan and they gave me free tires and I'd put them on wheels, go drift them. Never had the same tire sizes. Now we have like, what, $2,500 worth of just tires. I got a good deal on the wheels. These wheels, if I would have bought them, they probably would have been at least $3,000. So the guy said when he had them rebuilt, I think he was like $3,000 or $4,000 into these wheels after they were rebarreled. It's all brand new barrels. So, you know, I really like the stepped lip a lot better, but it is what it is, and it makes the car look a ton better. So I can't wait until the next video, so then I can finally get this thing back on the road. You know, fingers crossed, we're not gonna have any more issues with the car, but you know, it is kind of to be determined once that starts up and it builds pressure. And if we have a coolant leak, we have a coolant leak. If we don't, we're going to be driving this car, and I can't wait. I need to do some suspension mods. I want to do coilovers, all adjustable arms, get it aligned. One other thing that I noticed about the Z's, which is really cool, is in the back, when you adjust camber, caster, and toe, it's adjusting it from the bottom. So the upper control arm, that wheel, is most likely going to stay pretty close on the top where it is. It's just going to get a little bit more straight. So I don't think I'll have any issues with the offset or the width of the wheel in the back, which is great. The front wheel, it is going to push it out a little bit. Maybe, I'm not exactly sure what the camber is. It's probably pretty close to stock, and the car is pretty high off the ground compared to some of the ones I've seen. This is about the stance that I like. It's a little bit lower than stock, but it's also drivable. I don't have to worry about destroying the underneath of the car, and I could get into parking lots, go over speed bumps, and have fun driving the car around town and not have to worry about going super slow through dips. So I'm gonna end the video here. You know, I'm really excited for the first startup, well, the second first startup, but hopefully there isn't any more issues with this car and we could just start buttoning it up, getting some front end parts, getting suspension mods, and kind of go from there and enjoy this thing. Because so far, you know, I think I drove it for like 15, 20 minutes. It was so much fun to drive. It's gonna be a lot better than driving the Ranger every day. And it also shows that it gets a lot better gas mileage than the Ranger. So I'm gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below, share it with your friend. And as always, see you guys next time.